Hello, Carly and Ramsey. I hope the AP exam went well. I told you I was going to record our class for today, and I completely forgot to do that. So I'm just going to kind of go through the notes for you guys. I'm not making this an Edpuzzle video or anything, so you're going to want to pause it from time to time where I say try this, try that. Definitely pause to get caught up on things and all of that. Before we get started, I had the class take a look at page 12 just to refresh the memory on what we did yesterday with the cross multiply and solve, because tonight's homework will have a few more of those. You cross multiply, you solve the equation, you check for extraneous solutions. You want to make sure no denominator is 0. What we're dealing with today is what happens if we have multiple fractions, and how to deal with something like that. For example, this equation, by the way, I'm on page 13. This example on page 13, solving that equation. This looks really ugly. We could start by subtracting 2/3 from both sides, but then I've got to do 5/2 minus 2/3 and get a common denominator and all of that. That's going to be ugly. There's an easier way we can do this. The easier way is I'm going to find my common denominator, 2, 3, 6. My common denominator is 6, and okay, here's the new thing, and this is not what you would have done when you were just adding or subtracting rational expressions. What we're going to do is not make everything have that common denominator, but instead, I'm going to multiply each term by the common denominator. So watch. I'm going to say 2/3 times 6. Actually, let's make it 6 over 1. Plus 3x minus 1 over 6 times 6 over 1 equals 5 over 2 times 6 over 1. I'm going to multiply each of the 3 terms by the common denominator over 1. And I know that this looks worse than it was, but it's going to get a lot better in a moment. Over here, 2 over 3 times 6 over 1 becomes 12/3. Over here, you know what? I can just make those 6's cancel each other out and just get 3x minus 1. Over here, 5 times 6 is 30, 2 times 1 is 2, 30 over 2. Now we're going to simplify. 4 plus 3x minus 1 equals 15. And I don't know about you, but I would so much rather solve this equation than the one up here. I'm going to go and combine like terms. 3 plus 3x equals 15. Minus 3 minus 3. 3x equals 12, divide, x equals 4. I don't have any variable things in any denominator, so there's no way it could have been extraneous. It's not extraneous. X equals 4 is going to be our solution here. You're not really going to deal with many equations that look like these. You're going to see equations more like what's in the box, where our fractions have x's in the denominator. Here's what we're going to do. Step number 1, before we do any solving, I need to factor the denominators. Factor the denominators. The only denominator that I can factor is the one on the right. So I'm going to say x times x minus 1. I'm going to take out the GCF. I'm then going to do exactly what I did on the top. I'm going to multiply each term by the common denominator over 1. And I'll do some simplifying. I'm going to multiply each term by the common denominator over 1. And then I'm going to simplify. And I'm allowed to do this because it's an equation, and I'm multiplying everything on both sides by the same thing. Just like in the last one, I multiplied everything by 6. It's not changing my equation, it's just putting it in a better form for me. Once again, this work is going to look very different than the work that you need for the 7172 quiz, where we're just adding things. Here I'm not really adding them, I'm doing some work to get rid of my denominators rather than making them have a common denominator. So I'm going to go and I'm going to multiply by x minus 1 over 1. I'm going to multiply by x minus 1 over 1. I'm going to multiply by x minus 1 over 1. And then I'm going to do some simplifying. I think this x on the top and this x on the bottom, they can cancel, leaving me with just 2 and an x minus 1. Over here, the x minus 1s can cancel. You're going to get 6x. Over here, the x's and the x minus 1s are going to cancel. You're going to get 6. You go solve that, and I'm going to wait and respond to the email that just came in that needs an immediate response, apparently. You go solve. What is that now? Oh, that's not working. Oh, yeah, I guess I should have actually written that last step, sorry. I can't do 2 things at once. We're going to solve, and we're going to check in the original for extraneous solutions. We're going to solve, and we're going to check for extraneous solutions. We're going to get 2x minus 2 plus 6x equals 6. That gives us 8x minus 2 equals 6 plus 2 plus 2. 8x equals 8. Divide, divide. X equals 1. However, 1 would make this denominator equal 0, would also make this denominator equal 0, so actually that's extraneous. I have no solution to this particular equation, and the answer that I got, 1, is extraneous, and this is how I want you to write it. There's no solution, and 1 is extraneous. Remember, throughout this video, please pause if you need to get caught up. I'm not totally sure how fast or slow I should be going, so please pause this if you need more time with any of this. Next page, 2 examples of this. You're going to first factor your denominators. You're going to have 7 over x times x minus 5 plus 2 over x. Whoops, I shouldn't have put the equal sign up front. And this is going to equal 3 over 2 times x minus 5. My common denominator over here needs anything that showed up anywhere, so I think this is okay to start with. I need an x, but I've got an x. I need a 2, I don't have a 2, so I'm going to make it 2 times x minus 5. I'm going to go and I'm going to multiply each term by that. So 2x minus 5 over 1, make sure I see the over 1, plus 2 over x times 2x minus 5 over 1 equals 3 over 2x minus 5 times 2x minus 5 over 1. Now I'll do some simplifying. The x's will cancel, the x minus 5s are going to cancel. You're going to get the problem 7 times 2. The x's here are going to cancel, and you're going to get 2 times 2, x minus 5. Over here, the 2's are going to cancel, and the x minus 5's are going to cancel, and you're going to get 3x. 14 plus 4 times x minus 5 equals 3x. 14 plus 4x minus 20 equals 3x. Negative 6 plus 4x equals 3x. Minus 4x minus 4x. Negative 6 equals negative 1x. Divide, divide. X is 6. I think if I had gotten 0 or 5, that would have been extraneous, but 6 is all good. One more. In letter B, I'm going to factor the denominators. So x minus 4 over x minus 2 minus 3x minus 15 over, that piece becomes x plus 4, x minus 2. And on the other side, I'll just leave it as 3 over x plus 2. My common denominator will be x minus 2, x plus 4. And I'm going to go and multiply each term by that common denominator over 1. And just for good measure, I'm going to stick parentheses around all of the pieces with 2 terms in it, just so I'm good about some stuff. I'm going to go and I'm going to make things cancel. The x minus 2's are going to cancel, giving me x minus 4, x plus 1. Minus, let's not lose that minus sign. X plus 4, the x minus 2's cancel. I'm going to get 3x minus 15, but that's going to be in parentheses because I'm going to need to make sure I distribute my negative sign. On the other side, the x plus 4's cancel, and we're going to get 3 times x minus 2. X squared minus 4x plus 4x minus 16 minus 3x plus 15 equals 3x minus 6. I'll combine like terms and make it x squared minus 3x minus 1 equals 3x minus 6. Minus 3x plus 6 minus 3x plus 6. X squared minus 6x plus 5 equals 0. I'm going to factor that thing into x minus 5, x minus 1. I'm going to get x equals 5 and 1. Neither of those would have made any of these denominators equal 0, so they're both good. And that's what we did today, although we went a little bit slower in class. I hope this made sense. See you tomorrow.